Right.
So a two paper is telling that I got 170 sheet in my proposal, right?
In construction industry, and they were recommending me to join some other industries. So I stick to my plan, like you.
Then there was a project. It was in Inglewood, right, right next to SoFi Stadium. They they came up with this beautiful DMV net zero building. Like it was that what you choose. You choose what's available, or you choose what you really like. What's available is easy to pick. The tech industry is like booming to a level where everybody wants to be part of the tech, regardless of what they studied, what they did, because it just a may just tell you that okay, you got 1 year to build this project, but do you really need 1 year? If you
Hey everyone, welcome to the Hard Hat Conversation YouTube channel. This is where we take off our helmets and start having real conversation about our industry. This is Hari Bundy. I'm your host. Today, I'm excited to welcome not just a seasoned construction professional, but also a close friend of mine. With 9 years of experience as an estimator, working for a top general contractor, he brings valuable insight into the heart of building process, from the budget to execution to closeout, and he's seen it all. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. Welcome to Hard Hat Conversation, Vijay.
Thank you. Yeah, it's nice here.
Glad to have you on board. So this is awesome. So with that, I have a first question for you, Vijay. It's not a question. Let's get started. How did you end up in construction?
Yeah, my dad forced me into it. So, so yes, my parents' involvement into my career is huge. Basically, they suggested me to be in construction, which paid off actually pretty good, right? So, as a youngster, like you typically in two mind, right? What do you really want to be? And either you have to be really strong in something to really be definitive with your career choice, or take an outside opinion. So that outside opinion was my father, because he has seen construction going, and he probably thought that it would be a good career. So
Does he come from a construction background, so that's why he was pushing you to get into the construction, or
no,
to get a civil engineering degree? Why not IT or a software, right?
no, he has seen so many houses built around him, right? So he thought, okay, that's the real job, like
Right.
that people do. He hasn't gone into like a big IT park or like here. He probably did not understand the software market, right? So he can't really provide that insight.
Right.
He provided what he had seen happening in around him. So that is, I actually, my first opinion was I wanted to be the mechanical engineer, right? Because we all loved cars, bikes, planes, any machine, right? So I have a little interest or something that I get a little excited about the machines, right? So it is still in me.
Do you
dismantle
like
things.
to play with the machines, or you like to open them
I
and
break it,
dissect?
yeah. I literally break it into parts.
Right, right.
You know, breaking. I literally just dismantled my dryer one time just because I couldn't figure out why it's not heating up. I could have just literally dryer, you know. So I
Right.
thought, okay, I'll make it work
Right.
some way.
So
So
it sounds like you always liked the more of like hands-on
I
experience.
like to see things happening,
Okay.
right?
That's
Real time.
that's great. Like you're in a perfect industry, right? So
Yeah,
if you
yeah. I like
if you ended up in a mechanical side, you'll be more like designing side, or
Yeah, I
like,
think
right?
so.
So
It's the work I'm doing or I like to do is more tangible,
okay, that's great.
right?
That's good to
So
hear. Did you ever regret like why did you ended up in civil engineering, or you think you made the right decision and you like where you are right now?
it's good. It worked out pretty well. You
Right.
know, you never know the possibility until you really figure out, right? So wherever I am, there is a huge possibility. I think it's the sky is the limit now. So yeah, it's working pretty good. You know, I have a solid career, doing my job.
That's a great segue to my next question, Vijay. So with that, like my next question will be, tell me about yourself. What do you do right now? Which, like on a day-to-day basis, how your career started and how it expanded and where you are right now with almost like 9 years of experience in construction industry.
Yeah, I think it all starts with education, right? So bachelor's in civil engineering, master's in construction management. Then I started working. I mean, funny story. I think there was a really cool job I was going to start, but for some reason it did not. When I was about to graduate, I was interviewed by a company. That company was specialized into putting together all these beautiful, specially designed
It
glass.
looks like either you're talking about a New York skyscraping company or the Chicago, Illinois
It
skyscraping
was in
company.
New York.
We're
It was in New York. So
okay.
yeah, I did my
They're
master's from
experts.
Connecticut. Yeah, so the company
Right.
was located in Connecticut itself. So technically, what was the deal there? They offered me a position, and that position was assistant project design manager,
Nice.
and that was back in 2017. And the project was really cool. The project was for one of the tallest, currently is the tallest residential building in New York.
Oh,
It
really?
is
Oh, that's a fancy one right by the park.
right by the park, the
Yeah,
Central Park, right?
correct.
So, and it is named after the park. So I don't really want to tell the building name because
Right, right.
there's
Oh,
no, but it is named after the park, right?
okay.
So, but for some reasons, I could not work with that company on a super cool project. So I moved to California because I had a couple of job interviews. Actually, one of the job interview was from the company you're working right now. So that is yeah. So
That is nice.
yeah, I actually came and basically found a job here, which was a cool. Um, that's mid-sized to small-sized company, but it was a good exposure because the public sector or public projects were in huge demand, you know, so that was a great experience to have. So I worked with that company for 2.5 years. Finally, I landed a construction company which is more in a private side, healthcare, utilities, higher ed, um, mostly commercial construction. So I've been working there as an estimating manager there for um, I'll be completing 5 years with that company in October.
That's
So
that's nice. So, Vijay, let me go back for a second and ask you this question. So, it sounded like you moved from Illinois to California for job hunting.
no, New York.
New York. Oh, really?
Not really New York.
That's
No,
interesting.
actually not really New York. I like to say New York. I think it's
Right.
I actually moved from Connecticut.
So,
So
Connecticut to New York to California.
I had a job. But the job offer was from New York,
Got it.
right? So I
Got it.
was still in Connecticut. The company headquarter in Connecticut. The project was in New York,
Got it.
and I was, and then I moved to California, basically in Orange County. So that
Okay.
is.
So I want to ask this question for just to give our viewers for better understanding, and how long it took for you to secure a job after you moved to California.
It took a little bit because you want to be selective, right? That's your career. You can't really just be like, okay, oh, I got this job and they're offering this, and I'll just join it. You really want to decide that construction is vast, right? You do different
Right.
type of projects, and I found the job luckily, and the job I actually wanted, right? So um, it was a click, right? So I started working with that company. So
Okay, that's nice. The reason I asked that question is so when I was graduating,
yeah,
so a lot of people were talking about there's not enough projects or not enough jobs in construction industry, and
yeah.
they were recommending me to join some other industries. So I stick to my plan, like you, like your father pushed. my father did not push me into construction because my father was a like more of like iron ore mining company manager, so he was on site and dealing with people and dealing with operations. I always found myself interesting, right? So that's great. That's an interesting
I
story
think,
that he got there.
yeah, I mean, the whole idea is that what you choose what's available or you choose what you really like. What's available is easy to pick. The tech industry is like booming to a level where everybody wants to be part of the tech, regardless of what they studied, what they did, because it just a
What does your day-to-day activity looks like? Give me an example of bidding a job from start to finish.
you always have options in market what you want to bid, right? There's a lot of procurements available, like RFPs flooding everywhere, but you have to be selective what your company is specialized in, right? So once you pick up those projects, there's a list of projects, and you'll be like, okay,
Let's say like name couple sectors.
examples. Okay, higher ed, right? From higher ed, you're working in this university. University has it's a big campus. It needs a lot of work. It needs a new building. It needs a new underground utilities, right? It needs a new boiler. But and since you're in the books of the company of you're in the books of that university procurement department, they will invite you for almost everything. Depends on how your company does business with that university, right? But you really want to see, like, do you have experience to do the underground utilities, right? Or you are specialized only in building construction or a parking structure, right? So we get those list of projects and we will be selectively because we'll be putting resources into it, and resources and time is equal to money, right? So you want to be smart with where you have more success. So we get the list of project we decide, and it's called a yay or nay meeting, right? So we'll, whatever we say yay to is going to go into the estimating department where we have coordinators, estimators, right? So we would first confirm our involvement or our interest to the client, and we will be bidding this project, right? And they will set it up a job walk, any sort of pre-bid conference where they will give more information. You will basically see your competition as well. Who are you bidding against, right? And then your strategy goes from there. So once step one, you get the list of project. Step two, decide which project you want to bid. Step three, set it up in your department, right? Be prepared for the pre-bid conference, read the drawings and all that, understand the job. So you, when you go there for the job walk or the site visits, you can ask those questions because there's going to be engineers, architects, project managers standing there, right? Their job, they are there to accommodate you with your questions, so then you go back to your drawing board, right? And start working on it. And then the third, I think that was step number 4 or 5.
It was four.
It was 4, right? So
Right.
step number 5. There's so many steps involved. So step number 5. Now you have to basically decide who is the right contractor you want to work with. I work for a general contractor, right? So I have to do partnership with the trade companies. So the trade companies, and I have to be basically also mindful of that, um, that which contractor does good job and provides a better value for this particular project, because I am basically working with a pool of contractors, right? So we do that. That is the next step. And then once we have it all figured out, and basically we start reading into it, send some RFIs, get some clarifications, and we start receiving the bids from the subcontractors, where I would go back to my setup where I would compile all the numbers, basically also talk to the contractors, talk to my team members, and actually figure out how much time it is going to actually take, because client may just tell you that okay, you got 1 year to build this project, but do you really need 1 year? If you use all 1 year and somebody is using only 6 months or 8 months, they can do it for much lesser value, much lesser price, because they're not in putting too much manpower into it,
Competitiveness.
right? So
Right.
I think you also want to discuss that with your team and come up with a realistic schedule that works with everybody. And it is, uh, I think, is called a calculated risk, basically, because um, you might think this is done in 8 months, but it may take 10 months. So all that cost for additional 2 months gonna go out of your pocket. So um, that is another step you have to figure out: schedule development, and when the bid day is there, you put it all together. Generally on the bid day, and 5 to 10 minutes or 30 minutes ahead of the time
Put together all
to
the
put it
numbers.
all together. And it's a lot of work. In um, within last hour is a lot of work, because you're probably dealing with good 60 to 80 proposals coming from different contractors, and you have to be very quick in reading the proposals. And you can actually send, which we do, you can send the scopes, but also you want to make sure that their scopes are aligning with what you put together for them, right? Because a two paper sheet, what they are sending you, is basically a bid on 170 sheet drawing set, right?
Right.
So a two paper is telling that I got 170 sheet in my proposal, right? And those, every single word in that proposal means something. The most critical part for me is exclusions.
Right.
What did he exclude, right? You included everything. I don't have to. I mean,
It's
I
like
want,
they'll
yeah,
give you the best number and they excluded majority
yeah,
of
right.
the
So,
items, right?
so what did you exclude? I excluded dowels. Who's going to do dowels? By the way, dowels are those reinforcement bar which connects basically two concrete slabs where you have to put some trench, right? So you're cutting the concrete slab and then there's a trench. Now you have to put it back again. So it's a um, it's
It's
a
a lot of
connecting,
details,
right?
right? A lot of fine prints, I would say.
Yeah,
Right.
well, so I think, well, I use that word dowel for, I don't know, like a lot of people
Right.
will be like, what is dowel, right? So
Yes.
I think you know better dowel, right?
I come from that background, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, you know better dowel, so you can explain the dowel.
So, from start to finish, let's say from the invite to submitting your bid packet, what is the duration, the standard duration?
I'll say,
How much
Okay.
time you have?
if generally if the project is not too big, right? I think it is a minimum 3 weeks. I would say this way. 3 weeks is what you get up to, like a good $20 million project.
Right. So with that, within that 2 weeks, you're reading, coordinating, and you're reaching out to the subcontractors, and you're going to the drawing board and reading the plans and understanding. That must your favorite drink must be a coffee. There's a lot of going back and forth, dealing with people, they're dealing with the drawings.
Yeah, it basically, like, it requires a lot of organization, right? Time management.
Right.
Time management is the real thing.
Right.
And time management is such a big thing in construction, because one of the worst thing that happen, most common thing happen in construction is delay to the
Correct.
project, right? Because it's just not, because everything is not done in a timely manner or something occurred, right? So I think yes, there is a lot of time involved, and then over time you basically start understanding that there are some of the very commonly accepted responsibilities a particular trade should pick up, which you should not be really looking for, right?
Right.
So, like, basically, you don't really have to uh, really calculate the length of all the conduits going into the wall. right? Because
Right.
giving an example, right, for
No,
for electrical,
absolutely.
right? All
Right.
you need to know is, okay, how many light fixtures you got?
Right. I think we both are in construction. We can talk about it all day, right?
Yeah. So basically,
So
yes. So
to cut it short and keep it straightforward, there is tedious work.
it does, it is, and it takes basically it takes a lot of work to install that conduit than thinking that how much conduit is needed, right? So it is an expedited version of constructing a building in your mind. You're building that you're building that structure which whatever is on the drawing in your brain, and you'll be like, okay, I need this, I need that,
Visualizing.
right? So the process is 100 times, 200 times faster than what is actually going to take to build that project in reality.
Right. So I'm assuming you're also bidding the other jobs simultaneously or working on multiple projects,
Yes, yeah.
not one specific one?
Yes, so you basically have to. I mean, if you do like 3 weeks, if you give 3 weeks per project, right? So this way, like how many weeks are there? 52 weeks. 52 divided by 3. Mm,
Can only get about 20 projects.
20, less than 20. I think 17.
Right.
17 projects a year. But I think it's a good number, but it's a good number. But it's also not ideal that you are really going to have one job ready right after you finish another job, because client is not moving by your schedule.
Right.
You're moving with client schedule.
Client
If,
schedule.
if one client wants your bid on 21st and the second client wants your bid on 28th, you have to be ready for it, right? You have to just like, okay, I got it's a uh, it's a conveyor belt of delivering bids. So I got my bid placed on this one, and yes, you're working simultaneously on a couple of jobs together. So
Right.
you have to move your focus from one job to another job within the same day, because you want to be touching every single job on a daily basis, because you lose track of the team you're working on it, um, you
That-
might be in trouble.
Yeah, I spoke to a couple of people in our industry as well. So biggest challenge in our industry is switching gears, which is switching between the projects,
Yeah.
right? So with that, obviously there's multiple projects that are bidding at the same time, looking into the different plans. So there's a lot of brain work, I would say. There's a lot of stress involved. So I want to take that as a segue to the next question that I have. How does your work-life balance looks like after?
It's hard. It's hard not to think about it.
Right,
That's the problem, right? You just, like you said, switching gear, right? Moving, transitioning into different setup. So work and personal. You transition. I drive back from basically work, and now I'm in a personal setup, just because there's so many things I like to do outside of work, right? And I just do it. So basically, it just takes away all my attention from it.
that's good.
It keeps coming back to you, but you're so involved, because that's what you are, self-dependent. You have to basically, you're doing everything by yourself, right?
Right.
So it takes that attention away. It eases your brain, mind, right? And it just keeps it functional. So, yeah, if there's a lot going on, definitely you will be thinking about it. But I think ultimately it's your job how you do what you do to keep yourself away from it for time being, just to relax and recover and get back into it. So
Is it worth to burn that midnight oil, spend an extra hour at the job site or at the office, whatever you're working on, for long-term benefits? I've seen you work 10, 12 hours sometimes because you're working on a bid packet that you want to get it out.
two things. First thing is deadline, right? That's what it is. Deadline is a thing that you, and if you are a responsible person, you believe in accountability, then eventually you also want to deliver quality. So quality equal to uh, that amount of time you put in, right? Some people can deliver better quality in shorter time. Some people need more time to deliver the quality, right?
Right.
It's unique to everybody, right? So
So
one
it's
thing
worth it.
is it is worth it, and it is worth it about the projects you really like to do, right? Because it's a part of a job, right? Sometimes you'll be bidding something you don't really like, you're not really passionate, like so excited about. It's that's one of the thing about working for a company, right? And then second thing is there's another thing is like doing your own business as well. So working for a company, you're part of the company and you're working on a much bigger, larger picture, right? It is a company's project and you're part of it. So some projects you come across, you'll be like, oh, I'm individually invested into it because
Your
I
own
like this project
interest.
so much.
Right.
Like one of the example I'll give you that the DMV. There's not a lot of people are fan of DMVs. They don't really like going to DMVs. DMV is like one of the least favorite spot for people in California, right? But then there was a project. It was in Inglewood, right, and right next to SoFi Stadium. They came up with this beautiful DMV net zero building. Like it was like a solar. It was based on a first fully solar powered car. And if something
So,
like that
so
come to your
you're the
desk,
first one who actually liked DMV.
huh? Well, I'm pretty sure people will like that DMV because so where I'm going with that is that that is something you see first time and you'll be like, you know what, this is the project I want to do. And you'll be like one of those few people who came across this, and then they'll be like, okay, I am really putting this project as my top notch priority. I'm going to put extra hours without asking just because I like this project.
Right.
In that case, is it worth it? Definitely it's worth it, right? So if you're doing something new, something really exciting, and it requires an extra amount of time that you have to put in to basically be part of it, it's totally worth it.
Best memorable experiences and some of the lesson learned. It
There's
can
so
be
many.
something
There's so many. There's so many lessons learned, right?
good.
Yeah, I'm thinking about writing a novel on it.
The
Lesson
more,
learned.
the
Lesson
more,
number 2001.
the more lessons that we learn, the more we're gonna get better.
Yeah, I think it's all about what to do, what not to do,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
So like what to do is pretty common. What not to do is very important because it can put you in trouble.
Absolutely.
It can, you will know that in real time that there is a problem, and then you will have to, I mean, ultimately, um, everything is figure outable. I say figure outable because there is a route to it, right? So you
Always a
can
way
figure,
to find a solution.
right? You can find a solution, right? So but you really want to be in that situation? No, right? So yeah, there's so many lessons. I think
Maybe if there is a one that can get you fired, that could have got you fired.
that could have got me fired. Oh yeah, that was that's okay. It was a park project.
Okay.
It was a park development in Palm Springs, right? Beautiful park. I found that project. I was like, okay, I want to do that project, and I had all sort of bids, everything coming together, and last minute, like I said, we were putting all the bids, and they actually asked for a lot of playground equipments to be installed in those parks for kids. You see, like so I had all that figured out, and I got all the proposals from the subs, especially the playground equipment installers. But in fine print, and I had the bid, and I punched in the number and I submitted the bid, and when the bid opened up, my bid was like 1.5 million dollars lower than the lowest. I was the lowest guy. I should be happy, right? But if you're lower by 1.5 million dollar, like you should be worried, and I
On a
was
$5
worried.
million job.
Huh?
On a $5 million.
No, it was actually a eight point something million dollar
So
job.
you were off about like
I was off by 15%,
10%. Yeah.
right? That's a lot, right? 10 to
Right.
15%, that's a lot. I'll say 20%, 1.5 million of 8 million, right?
Right.
So I was worried. I was like, what did I miss? What did I miss? I had like 24 hours or something because that, on public projects, sometimes you, uh, if there is, what do you call it, a clerical error, right? You punching, and it's kind of a, it also depends on how your client is, right? If there's an honest mistake, you have a way to get out of it. It just, if they let you get out of it. If it's a judgmental error, that's on you, right?
Got it.
If it's, so I was just putting together, punching all the numbers, and my bid came out $1.6 million door. I was like, what did I miss? I opened all the proposals back again in like next 1 hour, and I read the playground equipment, and this guy says, I am just installing the equipments. You have to buy the equipments. And I was like, okay, so I missed all the playground equipments. I just got the installation in my bed, and I freaked out. I was like, okay, now what do I do? It's okay, I was working, and I had to actually go back to the client within that. I actually thought, first I thought about it, like to make it work, try to get $1.5 million out of my other trades. Um, it's a tough job. It's almost impossible to, because it's a lot of money. I mean, you can take out some, you can, you always try to salvage the job, right? But it was not salvageable at that point. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to the client. I'm gonna tell him that, look, it was just not included in my bid, right? For this reason, and luckily I got out of it. Typically, like with different clients, they would make you do the work, and you end up losing money, hence get fired. So, right? So, yeah.
You did not get a project. The client said, okay, you don't have to perform this work.
Yes,
You had
they
a
let us get
clerical
out of it.
error, right? So okay, that's great. That's that's a great experience you got.
Yeah, that's what I was actually panicked, man. I
Right.
think, yeah. So,
And with that, like, what will be your best experience? Like, man, I did it.
oh, best experience, man. Okay, I think it's called a test and maintenance building. It's for one of the utilities company here. They did a flagship. They came up with this new layout where they were installing at their substation. Nice, 11,000, 12,000 square foot pre-engineered metal structure building. So it's like Lego pieces you put together. So
Nice.
um, we got the job, and I was actually an engineer at that time, right? So I moved from estimator to engineer to estimator. So it's been a little bit of everything. I've touched all sides. I won't say all sides, but I think pre-construction and during construction uh, stage of projects I have touched personally and worked on them. So that was the project I worked on it, and um, it took a little bit to complete the project. There were and I was actually the last person to close that out, and we were there were some delays to it, and eventually, like in construction, it's given that you have to find, or maybe like you have to find a person who's responsible for it, right? So for the delays and all that, so you clean up all that. Who's gonna owe, who owes who who owes who the money? If the delay's on me, right? Yeah, I don't charge you, but I owe the money to subcontractor. If the delays are owned by the client owes me the money. So that's it's a part of the closeout, right? Because there's so many things. I'm not going to provide them warranty if they don't pay me the money. So it's just how it works. So I was able to successfully close that project on my own,
So
And,
your company and yourself made money on that project?
yes, yeah, we did.
And
We did
with
pretty
providing
good. And
all
that was
the
the first
warranties
project.
required
Oh yeah,
for the client, right?
it is. Yeah, I mean that's the general. We do that. We have a great relationship with the clients we work, right? So all the clients currently we are working with them from uh, 35 years to 15 years, right? That is our range. So we have written, and we have to be basically, and it's a continuous relationship. So
That's good.
it's not project basis. So yeah,
No, you always look at the long
and the long-term goal, right?
picture,
Yeah,
right?
bigger
So,
picture.
big picture, the
Yeah.
goals. So I want to take this as an opportunity to move on to the next question, and which is going to be your more of a personal one. You can answer it to your level, whatever you want to share. It's up to you. And being in the construction industry and more working for the project management side and working as an estimator, you have your master's degree and the civil engineering bachelor's as well. So how are you financially?
I can decide what I want to eat, right?
That means good, right?
I can basically pick a restaurant in LA and be like, okay, I'm going and eating food there. That's how financially I'm doing, and it's pretty good, right?
And you see
So,
yourself heading in the right
well,
direction.
yeah,
And
yeah.
you're,
I think it's great, right? Like I said, it has been a fruitful career.
let me ask, is your dad happy?
Oh yeah, he is happy. Yeah, yeah.
So if your parents are happy, definitely you're making good
Yeah,
money.
no, yeah. He's happy. Yeah, he's chilling.
That's great. So with that, like I want to go to my last question for today. So let's say if you have a cousin
Yeah.
and who's graduating the 12th grade and is debating whether to enter a construction field or IT field or any other industry, right? Do you recommend that person to go join the construction industry?
I will tell him how it works. Right. Let him decide.
That's
Let them
awesome.
decide. Right.
That's
Yeah. I know about construction industry, and I will tell him like this is how construction industry work. Right. And if I have a friend who is in software, I'll um, basically also ask them to tell them how their system works, and let them decide what they want to pick up. Right.
that's the great skill that leaders should have, right? So never force people to join something. All you can do is
Convince them.
El-
Kidding.
explain them what is like what path they're gonna choose, right?
Yeah, I think
So-
that's the best thing you can do is share your intellect, and if they line up with your intellect, basically they will end up choosing that.
So,
Do it.
Vijay, that was really a great conversation that I had with you in ages, right? So I'm not sure when was the last time I met you, maybe about 3 years ago or 2.5, I would say. So thank you for joining Hard Hat Conversation.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for inviting me. This is my first podcast, just so you know, okay? So don't really put dislike on it. Like, share, subscribe. Press the bell icon.
Thank you, Vijay.
Thank you.
That was a great conversation with Vijay. So with that, that's all I have for today. To encourage support and for more content like this, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Until then, stay sharp, be safe, take care.